Hi, welcome along to Barbecue Life. Today we're doing another Burgers Around the World cook where I'm inspired by cuisines and cultures from around the world to create a burger inspired around that cuisine. So today we are off to Scotland, so just up north from where I am in southern England, and we're going to be doing the Scottish burger. So instantly when I've said to people that I'm going to be doing a Scottish burger, everyone's been going, oh, you're going to put haggis in it. No, I'm not going to put haggis in it. I'm going for something completely different. So back in the early 90s, well, it's disputed on actually the date, but the main believed theory is back in the early 90s, there was a bloke in Aberdeen who invented the deep fried Mars bar. So today I'm going to take a deep fried Mars bar and we're going to be putting that in a burger. So I think quite a lot of people are going to switch off right now, but please do stick with it because it is miles better than it sounds. It's a bit of a Marmite feeling that people are getting on this. They're either going to love it or they're going to hate it, but I can assure you it is absolutely amazing. So I didn't practice this cook. I went straight in and just cooked it, and then I've already shot my end piece where I'm tasting it, so I know that it is good. But I wanted to give a genuine first reaction on there, and it's quite positive, very positive. There are a couple of little bits I'll change that we will discuss at the end, but fundamentally it's a fantastic burger. So first thing we need to do is knock up some batter. So off camera I've made some batter with just self-raising flour and water, and it's a 1-on-1 ratio. So if you use one mug of flour, then you want one mug of water. And you want it just that it's going to just coat the back of a teaspoon as you're once it's come together. Too thick and you're going to end up with a very stodgy batter. Too thin and it's not going to stick to the Mars bar itself. So you just want it to just coats the spoon, and you can see it running off from these pictures. So we've made that batter. Get that in the fridge just for a little while, because I find that batter works better when it's cold, especially when it's going into a very hot oil. So I've already set the Aldi kamado up today, and we're setting this up for quite a high heat because we want to be deep frying these Mars bars. So we're going to need our oil around 275 degrees C. So to say, I've already lit it. I lit it my normal way, just with a couple of tumbleweeds, and got it going. So I've got my cast iron pot. This is a 4.5 litre cast iron pot from Von Chef. I'll leave a description to one just like it, because you can't get the exact same one as me anymore. I'll make sure I leave a link to that in the description. It is an affiliate link, so I will get a small kickback if you was to buy it, but it's at no extra cost to yourself. So we've put that in there, and I'm going in with a whole bottle of oil, whole litre of oil in there. And that gives me about 1.5 inches in the bottom. That's ideal for frying these bits off. So we just need to be keeping an eye on the temperature. I've got my ambient temperature set to about 250 in the barbecue to begin with. And I'm just going in with my Inkbird Instant read thermometer. And I'm just checking the temperature of that oil. Once it reached about 250, broke off a small little piece of bread, chuck that in there. And if it fries in a couple of seconds and goes golden brown, then this is the temperature that we want our oil to be. If you get it too hot, then you're just going to burn things. Not high enough, you're going to end up with a very stodgy batter. So 250, 275 is about right for this oil temperature. So we've hit that target temperature. I'm going to take our Mars bar and we're going to put that into our batter. Make sure that it's completely covered. So I'm using a wet hand and a dry hand method, so that I've got one to be touching the camera and I've got one that I've got gloved, just so that I've got no running water out in the shack, so it makes things a little easier. So we've got this Mars bar completely covered, and we want to be really careful with hot oil because it is going to spit up a little bit, and you don't want to be splashing yourself with hot oil. So when you put things in, you need to lay it away from yourself. So kind of dip the end in and we lay it backwards away from ourselves. You don't want to drop it from a height because we don't want any splashes of oil to get on that charcoal, because then you can end up with a massive grease fire, and obviously that's incredibly dangerous. So just be sensible in what you're doing. The size Mars bars that we're using today, these are snack size Mars bars, and we're going to be putting 2 in each burger. We get our second one in to fry at exactly the same time. Now these only took about a minute, maybe a minute and a half to go golden brown. By making sure that we've got that batter nice and thin and not too thick, then we don't need to cook for too long. Now the Mars bar did burst slightly out of the batter. You can see the air bubbles coming out, and that is where the batter hadn't quite sealed all the way around, and a little bit of the chocolate and a little bit of the caramel did come out into the oil, but the vast majority has stayed inside of the batter. So after that sort of minute and a half, we just want to go in with a slotted spoon, take them off and pop them onto a plate off to one side. And at this point we now need to get our burger patty cooked. So off camera earlier on, I've pre-made some burgers. So these are about 110, 120 grams each, and we're going to season these with cattle dust from the Rusty Barbecue Company, or any sort of savoury, beefy rub, because we really need that savoury, beefy notes to come through to counteract the sweetness that is in these Mars bars. So I've got these pre-made. We get them out of the fridge, put them off to one side, and we need to rake our coals right up to one side, because I want a really fierce heat, but I need an indirect zone at the back so that we can keep our deep fried Mars bars nice and warm. So take the grill grate out. Using our rake that comes with the Aldi Kamado, we're just going to bring them coals forwards. If it's too hot for you, get yourself a welder's glove or the Inkbird gloves like what I've got. There's a massive range on Amazon. I can leave a link to the Inkbird ones again. Underneath everything that I use in this video, I'll make sure I leave a link underneath so that you can get it. So we rake them coals right to the front, so we've got a very high heat right on one side and an indirect zone at the back. We're going to go straight on with our burger patties. Now I am cooking 2 burger patties on camera. That's because I'm making 2 lots of these burgers, one for me and one for my wife. We're just going to go on and get these cooked. So nice direct heat. It's 80-20 ratio of fat in these burgers, so you're going to stay nice and moist. And we get them deep fried Mars bars in the back just to keep them warm, because I want them to be really gooey and sticky on the inside with that nice crunchy batter. So because of this high heat and the coals being so close to the top of the grill grate, it doesn't take very long for these burgers. So after a couple of minutes, we're just going to flip them over, and then we're going to go in with our cheese. So I'm using Gouda cheese, or Gouda as it's actually pronounced if you was to get it from its homeland. Pop that on, and it's a really nice melty, creamy cheese that I love in burgers. It's rapidly becoming my favourite go-to cheese for when I'm cooking flame grilled burgers and things like this. So again, another couple of minutes just on that side. That cheese is going to melt and encase the top of that burger after a couple of minutes. You can go in with an instant read thermometer and just double check the internals, but I know I've put these pretty thin to begin with, so they're not going to take very long at this high heat. So we get our Mars bars off because they're starting to bubble out where they've got really hot and everything's really gooey inside. Putting them back on that plate off to one side, finish our burgers off, and then it's time to start building. So I've toasted off some buns, and we're going straight on with our burger patty with our melted cheese on to the bottom bun, and then we're putting our deep fried Mars bars on top of that, and then we'll stick the top bun on it, crown it off, and then listen to this crunch when I push it down. That to me says that I've got my batter absolutely perfect, and the texture of this batter is going to be fantastic. We're going to have no little stodgy pieces in there. It's going to work really well. So I'm going to shoot back to the shack where I was tasting it, and you can we'll take it from there. So this is going to be the ultimate sweet and savoury. Let's see whether the harebrained scheme inside my head has actually worked. Go this half. This has got a nice gooey golden bit right in the middle. Nice big bit of crunch sticking out this side as well. So that's where I'm going to go, I think. So if I'm honest, I think we need another burger patty in there with a little bit more savoury. It is very sweet, but it works. I'm looking forward to chomping into the rest of that as soon as I get off camera. That really, really works. I'm impressed with that. So if you've enjoyed this harebrained idea of a burger, then please do make sure that you like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Even if it's you're a madman, why you're doing stuff like this. And subscribe to the channel. That is the important bit. That is really what helps us grow. If you can do them 3 things, it's really going to help the channel grow. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.